Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video is going to find you in doing fine and in good health. I'm also doing fine at this very current time. So let me know where you're watching this video from. Which country, Africa, United States, or which country in particular going forward. Guys, just as to do what we call the check reality and facts, declassifying information and classifying information where they're supposed to be. Lies we declassify and we send it back to the sender. And the fact will also keep them, which will otherwise be so informative to us, because majority of people sometimes don't have time to watch the entire long videos. Others prefer the summaries, but which is so credible. That's why most of the time I do my research to give you a credible analysis going forward. And this is how business here, devoid of insights going forward. You know, it is something that even the Mexican states, they don't want us to combat them. They don't want us to expose their lies. So today, such topic introduces us to one of the lies, one of a video and a rant that I declassified to be a podcast of lies. And there is only one guy who is a reactor that running a podcast, things that are not supposed to be running a podcast. You know, that's what I'm telling you. For you to call your channel a podcast ought to be so credible, calling people to an interview and clarify airs. But a podcast that is being used to tell people name to the detrimental that you can also focus on lies. Therefore, it shouldn't be called a podcast. It should be called a gossip channel or a pod lies. Perhaps this is the person that you know. You know, guys, on our today's topic, we want to get to know who is the person behind these pod lies, and why must they always devolve themselves into lies? Why must they broadcast that kind of lie? And why is the audience always at the hellbent on consumption of such kind of illicit pod lies? Do they know? Guys, if you're coming across this video and channel for the very first time, kindly click the notification bell so that whenever I upload the video, YouTube shall notify instantly. To my loyal subscriber, may God bless you abundantly. Without your support, this channel wouldn't be at this place. So let's dive in after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Inazat and this is my YouTube channel. So guys, let's dive in lest we forget. We are being treated into a scenario and a drama and lies. One of the most contemptuous kind of a lies and a podcast that does not reflect a podcast in itself. Gossip gallo, lies gallo to the detrimental of one other than Marwa and the family. And the Dimwango that everything that is within Amara's purview, such things must be belittled. Sorry. You know, such kind of lies was spewed onto that pod lies. One, Rocio wants to dump Ayamara. And that now begs the question. Does Rocio wants to quit Ayamara or to exit the village? We want to know because I've never seen anywhere that Rocio spoke to it. It's only at the pod lies. These are the things that majority of people are speaking and insinuating, because we always know their turn and twist. Number two, Rocio is not happy with Amarwa. The DIY kitchen designs. What is it? Because I've played countless videos that Rocio did that. However much, because people are telling her that the designs are not proper, that Amarwa is destroying the awesome villa. But it says it's behind what Amarwa have decided. It's behind him. But in every successful story that a man involved himself with, there is human behind the man. I played this video some 2-3 days ago. So what JT is insinuating in these videos alone really is not what Rocio is contemplating to do. It's not. And another question that also we should be asking, why should JT podcast be that podcast of spreading lies and hubris that are never making sense? We should be asking ourselves that kind of question. In fact, that podcast should be referred as a pod lies, like I stated previously, because that is a reflection of what that podcast is. And what is the lie? If I said that podcast, it is a pod lie. Perhaps let's interact ourselves with this video, then I will come and put everything.
Inside this video, she was showing that that kitchen. Okay, I'll play this as an intro, so I'll talk about it later. But let me show you what she said, and we get to hear from her own point of view. Because I've been wondering, is she really cool with that thing? Now I understand why she's leaving. Now it's clear, very much clear that she is fed up, she's tired, and she doesn't like at all what Maro is doing in his villa. For her, she thought that she would be the designer, come up with designs and tell them, so we should do this, we should do this, we should set our kitchen to be like this, this is how I like my house appearing, okay? She liked to be on top of the game, like to control and, command things, how they should move. And now, because Sensor was right there in Argentina, and he was like watered, clipped, his wing was clipped. Now he came back to the village, he was like, okay, I've been sat on for a long time. Now it's my time to exercise my power. And of course, Sensor himself is now doing everything that he wants to do, what pleases him. And that thing didn't sit right with Rocio at all. And I hear Rocio coming out today to say, this idea of the kitchen inside the bedroom was the most, was the most stupid idea ever Rocio seen or she ever had in her entire life. And now, I'll be playing this video, and you get to listen to Madam Parasite. I'm like, okay, I know that eventually she will come around and say it, but not right now that she wants to leave the village. But it could be the reason why she is not cool with this and she wants to go away from the shenanigans so that she can come and see how fast and so he's doing his nonsense. The stuff from
we can do over there. And also his billing, his kitchen. I always receive messages of people trying to convince me.
Okay, now she was showing the bedroom and everything, and she happened to touch on that kitchen and say she'd been receiving messages and concerns from subscribers, from Maro subscribers, telling her to accept that idea that a kitchen can be set in a bedroom. But for her, she said, for real, she've never seen such
that is the video,
idea.
and the video itself,
Like,
you can declassify such kind of information.
Like a kitchen in a bedroom, a master bedroom. Even if, and
internally be in agreement with me that is a pod lies. Guys, JT decided to play Rocio's video and cut it into pieces, then form our own narrative and thoughts that Rocio wants to leave, and Rocio is vexed and agitated of Amaro kitchen designs, and that's what making Rocio wants to exit relationship with Amaro and leave the village. So this is horrible, and I call such kind of utterance as a hubris. They are not making sense, because Rocio at one point came into this YouTube street and justified and tell us the reason, because she's been receiving a lot of messages and people are telling him that Amaro is damaging the house, that Rocio should be the forefront in doing also, while Rocio confirmed to people that he's aware, is in the forefront and supports what Amaro does. However much Rocio also yesterday did a video telling people that majority of people again has told him the idea of putting a pantry or a kitchen inside a master bedroom is not a good idea, which Rocio also was agreeing with the fact positively, but he's saying, but it is Amaro and Amaro is my husband, I need to support everything that my husband is doing, which means Rocio is into it. So this is now a justification that JTPODCAST has come in to weigh his own ugly thoughts that this is the reason that Rocio wants to quit and leave. What kind of a hubris and lies being spewed left and right, and the audience are there consuming such kind of stale information, so toxic, not making sense. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. If you want really to get to know, perhaps let's interact with the Rocio video, because that video is cut into pieces. Then we will get to know what really Rocio explained. Then we'll compare and contrast with the JT's video explanation. Then you'll get to know where JT is twisting the word. I want to tell you and get to know the techniques, how they twist the words. Because my only reason here is to demystify their false allegation while put things straight into perspective, so that we minimize the damage, we minimize the lies within this YouTube street. Perhaps let's meet at the other
always
end.
receive messages of people trying to convince me that I tell Mara to destroy this space. What is a kitchen doing inside a bedroom, the master bedroom? And yes, at some points myself, I wouldn't have put a kitchen inside this room, but this is Mara's design, and he's so convinced that he wants this, and there's no way to change his mind. So all I have to do is just to support, and then maybe, I don't know, cook some breakfast one day here, maybe.
So
We'll
guys,
see.
you
I
watched
want
that
to
video
show you how I
alone,
put
and
my
you
stuff
watched the explanation
here.
of Rocio. Rocio simply is saying vividly and so clear that even a grade 3 student can understand, decode, and encode the information. Something that had to be twisted by JT Podcast, because at any moment in this YouTube street, I've ever opined that nothing normally happened out of just a mere coincidence. Everything's a planned, choreographed, just to meet a specific objective. So what was the objective of JT's podcast line? It's always to form a narrative, it's always to create drama, it's always to detriment Rocio or blackmail Rocio, and it's always to play down the information that Amara told them. You know, these are the people who started castigating Amara when Amara was building the DIY kitchen. They call it all sorts of names. That now Amara even dare them wait for the final results. So the final results was unveiled, and you've seen how such kind of designs are well. They are not longer talking about the kitchen. Now they've diverted attention to Rocio's. Now telling that Rocio want to exit just because one of the pantry and the kitchen is being placed in the bedroom. How many number of people haven't seen kitchen in the bedroom? There's a lot of it, and people are not complaining. The only thing is such kind of pantry and the kitchen in the bedroom is just only for making the pudding, the juices, boiling certain kind of tea, but not to cook food inside it. It's only that those kitchens inside the room is only for boiling. Once you cooked food, then you'll only come and boil it. Boil water so that you can access your kitchen in a span of a time. Because the majority of people don't understand Amara. Don't you remember when Amara told you that he wants to turn that villa to be a Airbnb, some part of it? So it means when Amara will be having its own compartment with this self-contained room, while other people occupies other rooms, therefore there will be no time that Amara will be sharing the same kitchen with the occupants, with other occupants within the villa. This is the Amara vision herein, and people are not getting it. So for the people to come here and start ranting that they never seen a kitchen inside a bedroom, you people, you haven't seen a studio. Where I am, I live in a studio. I've got my own bed, and I've got my own kitchen just facing next to the bed. What is the problem with that? What's the problem with that? These things are available and they are everywhere. It's only maybe the taste and preference. Other majority of people wouldn't have loved when they have kitchen because they are dirty, because they are untidy. For the people who are untidy, they cannot fathom having kitchen inside their bedroom because they are untidy. So that's their fears. I understand you guys. That's why there are lots of people who also cannot do any what thing because they fear, because naturally they're just dirty. Now you've seen the information that I wanted to tell you, that this podcast should be podalized. It should no longer be called a podcast, because what are you podcasting? What is the change that this podcast has brought in this YouTube street that somebody can come in and learn from it? Nothing at all. So guys, let me know your thought at this comment section. Until next time, this is Senior Zach.